Good morning, everyone. Jamie Cinq-Mars here with you this morning for Mind Over Matter. I'm going to take a little sip of my coffee. It's coffee time. How's everybody doing out there? I know that today I have a very exciting topic. I was away last week, which I missed the webinar. So what I wanted to do was, I gotta turn my camera a little bit. I seem to be sitting crooked. I'm sorry. Is it just me, or do I seem really close today? Do I need to sit way back here? I guess I could, but then my notes are way over there. Maybe I can move them. There we go. So the topic today I want to talk about was, and stay tuned, because I have a special guest coming on later. We have something very important to talk about. You don't want to miss that. I can't tell you when, because then maybe you'll leave and come back. All right. Anyway, so yes, and as you can hear, I've got some sort of head situation going on here. The topic was, what are you focused on? Are you focused on your activities, or are you focused on your results? It was I'd spent a weekend in Houston, Texas, because I went to a conference, and one of the keynote speakers at this conference was John C. Maxwell. I don't know if any of you are familiar with John C. Maxwell, but he's regarded as the #1 leadership expert in the world, and he's also written like 70-something books since 1970. And I don't know, I've read a number of his books, and I just really just enjoy learning from him and hearing him speak. What I often find is he takes a complicated subject and he just makes it simple. And what I mean by that is he'll often say something whereby, or you read it in a book that he's written, whereby you have this sort of feeling of, oh, damn, I knew that. Why haven't I implemented it, or why haven't I taken action on that, or why haven't you just sort of, it's like a little mini aha moment where you're like, oh, right, I should have known that. And and so I find that he keeps the topics light and very simple, and which is fantastic. So anyway, I did gain a lot from that weekend, not specifically the topic I'm talking about, but some of the stuff I learned from him, you'll hear about in the weeks to come. But and there'll be a little bit in here today too, because it all bleeds together, right? Wait, I need to unlock my device here that's holding some of my notes. So one of the ways that I was going to start was to talk to you about ratios, right? We're all in this business, the online business, and it requires a lot of work. And often what we do is our focus gets off a little bit. We become focused on the results and not so much the activities. And there's a big difference, and there's a lot of benefits to one, and there's a lot of downsides to one. So it's important that you have your focus in the right place. And the reason I wanted to talk about ratios is that I just wanted to talk about the concept of if you do something often enough, the ratio will eventually appear, right? And the magic about when a ratio appears is it tends to continue. And that's a really important piece. If you want to write something down, once a ratio appears, it tends to continue. For all those, for any kind of a sports fan out there, you'll often find that your favorite sports pros will have some sort of average of some kind that you can sort of you can look to, whether it's a baseball player and its batting average, a football like a running back and his yards per game, or just trying to think, a goalie and his goals against average in hockey, ice hockey. So you can take any sport and you can find where a ratio has appeared. So a baseball, I'll just go back to baseball with the batting average. And baseball player goes up to bat, he swings the bat, he swings the bat, he swings the bat. He does it often enough, suddenly a ratio appears. How many times he actually hits the ball and gets on base. That is usually someone who's, batting 300, 350 is considered a superstar in baseball, correct? Exactly. They get paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to bat 350, which is 3.5 out of 10. Or to round it down, is 3 out of 10. So 70% of the time he fails every time he steps up to the plate. Here's $5 million. See what I'm saying? The ratio appears, right? And it'll tend to continue. He'll tend to be a 300 batter for his entire career. He's not going to be 300 one game or 300 half a season and then 200. The ratio is based on a long period of time. There's 100 and some odd games in a baseball season. Well, every now and again, it's interesting how the commentators will take, well, in the last 10 games, he's batting 400 or 450 or 500 or something. He's batting 500 in the last 3 games. He's batting 500. But he's not a 500 batter. He's still a 300 batter. The whole point of getting a ratio, and you can't get the 300 without the 500. You're going to bat 500 over here, you're going to bat 200 over here, and you're going to get 300 right here. That's the whole point, is that you have some things are you're going to swing and you're going to knock them out of the park, and then there's others that are going to be epic fails. I mean, Mr. 300 batter could go 2-3 games and strike out every single game. Could happen. Does he quit and say, "Oh, that's it, I'm not playing baseball anymore. I'm done. I'm out. Here's my contract back. I'm out"? No, he gets back up, goes back to the plate, swings at another ball, because the ratio tends to continue. So if you get yourself to a point where you have a certain ratio, keep at it, scale up, and keep the ratio intact. It's essentially the concept is running the numbers, right? And we try to relate it to what we're doing here. I mean, we're talking about advertising, online marketing. You're advertising your link. You're trying to get traffic. The more traffic you get, the more people see your link, the more people have a chance to make a decision on whether they're going to do it. So that's where, if you do something often enough, a ratio is going to appear. Now, are you getting 3%? 3% of the people responding? Are you getting 10? Are you getting 15? Are you getting 25? I know it's global online franchise. We've been seeing crazy numbers that are completely nowhere near the industry norm, and I mean that in a good way. They're much, much higher, anywhere from 10 to 30% higher than the industry norm. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me that I say it's mind-boggling, but at the same time not, because I'm a part of a global online franchise, and I know that what's available there is amazing. So. But if you continue to do things like your advertising, whether it's safeless marketing, I mean, that's what actually safeless marketing, and I'm going to say back like a year and a half ago, before Facebook PPC was even really a thing, or wasn't very popular and not many people used it, what people were doing was they were just simply putting an ad in groups. And you can do it manually. So at one point, I took an entire 30-day frame so that I was trying to work on a project, and I needed some statistics on what kind of conversions I might get from Facebook, from Safeless. So I spent 30 days, and I every day without fail. Well, what about on Sundays? Every day. Well, did Christmas fall? Every day. Didn't matter what. I made sure I found time to do this. So I would post to 50 groups minimum in Facebook, and I posted and I sent out as many safeless mailers as I could handle, and I'm part of, I don't know, 50 or 60 safeless, I don't remember how many, but because this was a while back. Lo and behold, I put about 1,500 people in my list in those 30 days just using those two methods. So the conversion to opt-in, that's what I was going for, by the way. I was looking for results of conversion to opt-in. Now, of course, there were some sales there too, but that wasn't what the focus was for this project. So the focus was on marketing to get opt-in, because once you can get the opt-in, then you can work on the sales page and try, or not the sales page, the sales page, just to get people to actually purchase something. But first you got to get them to opt in, otherwise they just look at it and run away. Look at it, run away. If they're not opting in, there's no point. So anyway, I did something often enough that a ratio appeared. Had I decided to continue to do that for the next 30 days, make it 60, next 30, make it 90, next 30, make it 120. If I had 1,500 in the first month, I would have had however many in, 15, 3,000, 45, 6,000. I would have 6,000 people on that list in 4 months, right? That would have been, and that's assuming that the ratio was going to maintain exactly as it was at the 30-day mark. It could have been higher, it could have been a little bit lower, so roughly 6,000, between 5 and 7,000, let's say. But that's the example that we're looking for here, is that you have to do something consistently, day in and day out, advertise, market, advertise, market, advertise, market. You guys are familiar with Natalie Angersani. She has done some amazing things with Safeless. And again, do something often enough, the ratio appears. And that's where Natalie put 10,000 people in a list using Safeless. Like, that's remarkable. And it can be done. So, back to the idea of focus of results versus activity. If you're focusing on the results, it can be quite depressing at times. And that's the truth. It can be quite depressing, because you get so caught up in, well, did this convert? Did that convert? Run one ad and then you go, oh, that one didn't work. Well, how do you know it isn't at the bottom end of the ratio? So you send out an ad, you got, one sale or 2 sales, or you got 4 sales. What if you ran it again in roughly the same manner and you got 15 sales? You don't know. I mean, none of us know, right? And it's a common thing that we get, as leaders here. Well, not just here, but anywhere, but specifically in Global Online Franchise and the Academy of Online Success, is, well, where should I run my ads? Because I want to make sure I get the best results. We don't know that, because we've sent ads to where we thought were some of the best places and got nothing. But the next one got 30. Because if you do something often enough, a ratio appears, right? So if you're focused on your activity, you will always end up in success. Activity is the key. It's not the result. Yeah, of course we do at some point need to take some time to pause to analyze what we're doing, so that we can find out what the ratio is. So if you've done something long enough, it's at some point you need to determine whether or not, like a baseball player, if he's been up to bat 1,700 times and his batting average is 150, well, either A, he needs to decide not to play ball, or B, he needs to figure out how to get better at hitting that ball. So he's either got to improve his skills or change career, one of the two. Me personally, I think improving your skills is the better way to go, but that's just me. Because, I mean, if you're doing something you want to do, you have to improve your skills. Jim Rohn had always said that you can get a job at McDonald's and taking out the trash, and they'll pay you $5 an hour. I mean, he was an older guy, so $5 an hour is maybe a little low, but what he said, if you learn how to whistle while you take out that garbage, you might be able to get yourself paid $6 an hour, because you're learning a new skill, right? I mean, he was just being tongue-in-cheek with it all, where you whistle and you get paid more money, but the concept is, the only skill you have is taking out garbage, then you'll only ever make $5 an hour, because all you know how to do is take out garbage, right? You have to learn new skills in order to. The managers at McDonald's, the people that run the place, they don't show up one day, take out garbage, the next day they're running the place. No, they start taking out garbage, and they learn how to make fries, then they learn how to make burgers, then they learn how to make all the different burgers, then they learn how to do some inventory, then they learn how to do this, then they learn how to do that, then they learn, oh, wait a minute, they're running the place. And every step of the way, they made more money. So new skills is important too. But in order to, that's where focusing on the activity becomes very, very powerful, because if you're focused on your activity, it becomes a repetition, right? And there is in a sports, pick any sports icon you've ever known. They don't practice because it's just for fun. They're practicing because that's what makes them better, or keeps them consistent, depending on where they're at, right? You know, it's all about focused on the activity. Especially if you take a sports analogy and you look at these sports players and they are practicing like crazy. They're not getting anything, no direct results from practicing. No direct results, none whatsoever. Because there's no game on the line, there's no referees blowing whistles, there's no fans in the stands, there's nothing going on, there's the coaches yelling and screaming. Nothing. If they focused on their results, they would be very frustrated with practice. But when they're focused on the activity, which is repetition, improving skills, and preparing for the next game, focus on activity yields success. In our industry, focus on activity, which is advertising and marketing, depending on what it is you're doing, get super good at it. Just keep throwing stuff against the wall. When something sticks, remember what it was and start trying to make that and start working on that skill and build it. I'm going to move on a little bit. I see it's 20 after 9 already. I have a special guest. I still want to bring them on. So, but all right, here's this was the sort of the tail end of this. Is the last thing that I wanted to talk about in reference to doing something often enough so that a ratio appears is that in the beginning, when you're doing something new, you're not going to be good at it. I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to be awful at it. You know, the odd person, maybe 0.5% of the people in the world, maybe 1%, they'll just automatically be good at it. We all know one of those people who just picks up. You know, especially I always use sports reference because I play a lot of sports. You know, we all know that dude that just, or woman who just shows up and they're good at the sport. They never played it before. You just want to punch them. That's my hockey background coming out. But anyway. But the fact remains that you're not going to be good at it in the beginning. You need to start from somewhere and build up to where you're going. And that means you're going to start out in a place where things don't work as much as they should, or as much as you think they should, but I think they're working exactly where they should. Let's consider this. Babies. We've all been around babies, whether they're our own or somebody else's. And when babies are born, they don't know how to talk. I know I didn't. And some people might say that I talk a lot now. So, but when I was born, I didn't. But at some point, I was cruising around the floor, just making my way across the living room, and suddenly I just blurted out a sound. Just meh, something, whatever. And to my mom and dad, I was a genius. The baby talked. What? What did the baby say? Nobody knows, because he can't speak. His language skills are completely horrible. So what does the baby do? They continue. The baby's shocked just as much as anybody else that all of a sudden a noise came out of him. I'm just going to... hold on one sec. My special guest is having trouble getting in here. It's odd. Hold that thought on babies, because I'm just going to quickly pop over here. I do apologize for this. I just want to see if I can. Oh, that's why. I don't think. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to add my special guest as an admin to the webinar. I don't think I can change that. Let me just quickly look. I don't know if I can change that or not. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to. I'm hoping to bring this person in, but I gotta see if I can fix this. So just bear with me. Again, I apologize. I like this whole this baby talk that I had going on. My computer's running. Wow, it's crazy slow because I have this video running here. Can I change the admin at this point? Add another admin. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna add another admin. I don't know what email address. Send me your email address because I know they're on. Sorry. You know what? I don't know if this will work, but anyway, I don't have an email here. Alright, back in here. Alright, anyway, I'm going to keep going here because I don't know if this will work anyway. You should send me your email address if you're still listening. And alright. I'm going to finish this off and then perhaps we will, I'll just announce what I was going to announce without my guest. Oh, here we go. Might work. I don't know if this is going to work. I feel like I'm losing the momentum of this concept here. That's what I'm enjoying. Okay, it says it was updated. So I wonder if I go back here. Try this. Hey, I just sent you the link. You can let me know if it works. Alright, I'm going to go back to where I was. We were talking about babies and how they talk and how they walk. For instance, the baby didn't just, they're crawling around the floor. They didn't just stand up and, go walk a mile. They take one step, fall down. So they get back up, try again, maybe 2 steps, and then they keep falling down. The bottom line is if you consider how a baby here, you need to turn something down there, my special guest. If you consider how the there, if you consider how if you consider that a baby learns to walk over time, of course, that the same concept applies to anybody else learning a new skill, and that is if you don't wait, pardon me, you're going to miss success. If you don't wait for the skill to progress and the skill to develop, you're going to miss success. So again, are you focused on the result or are you focused on the activity? The activity is learning how to walk. The activity is learning how to talk. The result is I fell down after 1 step. The result is I didn't say any real words. That's the result. If the focus is on the activity that I'm going to continue to make sounds until I say a word, until and we're talking about infants, of course, that are thinking on that level, but the concept is exactly the same, that you have to push through to learn. The bottom line is this, and take this away from the entire concept. Nobody ever got good at any business that after they quit. You've never get good at a business after you quit. You can only get good at a business if you stick to it and keep pushing and learning the new skills. And for those of you who are here, you can see that my special guest is Natalie Angrasani. And hello, Natalie. Oh, did I unmute you? I tried.
I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me, Jamie?
There we go. Excellent. How are you, Natalie? Sorry about the complication there,
but isn't that perfect for mind over matter? You didn't allow the little technical glitch to prevent you from going forward.
Yeah.
And doing what you do.
No, I didn't know. So what is this? We have this an announcement to make of some kind, a small one, I guess. Why did
Well, go ahead. Well, I don't know about you, but I've got plans for October the 11th.
October the 11th? I
Yes,
have plans too.
you do.
I do. Fancy that. October 11th is Saturday, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Jamie. And I'm going to have a digital breakfast event.
Nice. Digital breakfast event.
Uh,
I like digital
uh,
breakfast events.
well, and this way I'm bringing my coffee, you're bringing your coffee.
That's correct.
Anybody who joins us brings their own coffee.
No, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And you and I are going to get together and start something.
Start a little something.
Start a little something.
What exactly are we going to be talking about on that Saturday?
Well, we can talk about a myriad of topics, but we should start, I think, with mindset and how it affects our business, our health, our lives, and just everything we do.
I like the idea. I know I spent a lot of time talking about mindset as relationship to business, but it does impact pretty much the entire spectrum of your life. There isn't a piece of there isn't a moment in your life or time or in your waking hours that your mindset is not 100% engaged. And if you aren't protecting it and feeding it and fueling it and growing it, you could be in trouble.
Then you go anywhere you want to go and do anything you want to do and succeed. And those averages that you were speaking about earlier will continue to skyrocket.
Correct. I mean, I just for those of you who are wondering, Natalie and I had talked about this because as much as I absolutely appreciate the opportunity that and very grateful for the opportunity that Alec has given me to speak to you guys on Thursday mornings on the topic of mindset, as it relates to the global online franchise and directly to the business that you are working on. Natalie and I both agree that there is a portion of this concept, that the portion of the mindset that needs to be stretched a little, as opposed instead of just through business. Just from personal experience, I know that even though there's a lot of principles in the business that I've talked about, that they didn't come naturally to me, all the time. I had a lot of personal mindset walls, I guess, that needed to be broken down before I could even accomplish the business side of things. So, but instead of feeding that into the global online franchise, and I think it might slightly be a distraction, Natalie and I will take it outside and move it to that Saturday as a sort of a, I don't know, maybe kick off to something new that maybe just slightly away from global online franchise, but not removed from it, from the sense that we're not going to I don't even know how you'd say that without saying that twice. It's not that we are going to avoid talking about global online franchise or the Academy of Online Success, because both of those places are exceptional tools for online success. But we might just move a little bit away from strictly business and move it a little bit more to personal development with respect to health and wellness, and in addition to business health and wellness. So that's all. Pardon me. Sorry about that. I do have
Bring something back with your trip.
Pardon me?
did you bring some cough back with you when you came back from your trip?
No, before I left, I had a little bit of. It's mostly head kind of stuff, and um, it it's kind of funny because I wouldn't say that I ever get really sick, like sick, because I always sort of get to where I am right now, and it lasts for a few days and never really grabs hold, and then it's gone. I mean, it's like it's working really hard to grab hold, and I'm so stubborn. I'm like, not a chance, not happening. Forget it.
Yeah.
Not taking this guy down. Forget it.
I have to tell you, when I was listening to you before I came on the screen. I think it was a great point to make, because I remember when I first started and I did any kind of marketing, I would do one thing, and then I'd look for my results. And I got so hung up on those little results that I lost, at the beginning, I lost the big picture. And you always got to focus on the big picture of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I had to learn not to do that.
Well, and it's funny you say that, because I think that another thing that you and I wanted to talk about on October 11th was that I really wanted to detail your story a little bit, because there's so much to be learned from it that I didn't, and I don't know, sometimes it's hard to, because that Alec brings you on, and Stephen brings you on, and we're sort of bringing you into the fold to help with the training of the people in the global online franchise, because you definitely have a lot to offer. But one of the things that I don't think everybody knows is the story of how Natalie got to be someone that would bring into the, right? Well, I mean, we're not bringing everybody in, right? There's a lot of people coming through the global online franchise, and they're not all showing up on these webinars, right? It's not to say that we're not always looking for the next person we can help. We can sort of groom for training and coaching and teaching. But one of the things that I think we often forget when we're you sit down and you're listening to someone talk, like myself or Stephen or Paul. Even Paul is probably the best example of this, is that we didn't all wake up to where we are right now, right? We all had a journey to get here, and sometimes we forget that, and we try to put ourselves into the other person's shoes and say, well, I just wish I did things the way they did. Well, I remember I was listening to John Maxwell on the weekend, and one of the things people said, John said was, people ask him all the time, why are you're just so good at what you do, and you're just so smooth, and it's just so easy for you. Because if you've ever watched him do a presentation, he literally just sits in a chair beside a table, and then he'll get up every now and again, walk a little bit, but then he sits down again. And when he sits down, it's like this, he's sitting in a lazy boy watching a football game. Like, he's not, like that. It's just all very, like, almost, a lot like this, And he said, well, I've done 12,000 of these. 12,000
Wow.
presentations. And he said, if I'm not good at this point, when will I be? He goes, yes, I am good at this, but I've done it 12,000 times. If you've done anything 12,000 times, you better be good at it, is kind of his philosophy, right? And then that goes right back to the ratio, right? When if you do something often enough, a ratio appears. Well, his ratio is like, batting 1,000, because every time he goes up there, he's a rock star. But that's because he did it 12,000 times, right? So, I mean, the first time he went up there, he wasn't any good either. But that goes back to the concept of the baby, or the walking or the talking, is that the first time you do it, you're gonna suck. You're just gonna suck. You're just gonna be awful. First time you write an ad, it's gonna suck. First time you spend 4 hours setting up one safe list, that sucks, because it's 4 hours you're never getting back. And then the next time you set up 16 in 1 hour. Like, you see the progression. Anyway, I don't want to rehash the whole webinar, but the point was that we got Natalie on here because we wanted to get her. We wanted to announce the October 11th date, and I'm hoping that we can put some of you in the window. And Natalie and I will probably continue a Saturday, or we haven't figured out a day or anything. We just sort of threw together one date we're going to start, and then Natalie and I are going to come back to them.
Because, Jamie, what do we both know? It doesn't matter what you're doing, you just got to start.
You just got to do it.
Do it.
Just got to do it. So, just got to do it. So yeah, that's about it. So we're now at 9:40. This is going a little longer than normal. So I would have to say that we should wrap it up, because I gotta put in my descriptions, and I gotta do all that stuff in YouTube once this thing finishes uploading. And then I got some work to do today. Some advertising, some marketing. I got some meetings outside of the house today too. So it's just a busy day.
Okay. But it'll be a productive day.
Yeah, I believe so. It's shaping up that way.
All right.
Because we have a list.
Anyway.
Okay,
thanks for letting me on this morning.
Hey, no problem. You're always welcome. Let's say October 11th, Saturday.
Yes.
Do we have a time? Did we come up with a time? I can't remember.
You know what? I don't know if we did, Jamie.
I don't see one in my notes, so I was wondering if there was one. So stay tuned for the time, and feel free to ask me again on any mindset Thursday morning mindset, and we'll have a time for you, and we'll be also announcing it. All right.
All right.
Well, you have yourself an awesome day, Natalie, and
I will.
That's it for mindset. What are you focused on, guys? Are you focused on the activities, or are you focused on the results? One will lead you to success, and one will lead you to disappointment. And if you don't remember which one, start back at the beginning. Have yourself a good day, guys. Take care.
Have a great day, everyone.